Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. I'm hoping you guys are all having a fantastic day. So today's upload, we'll be talking about the pattern for the United States and what to expect in terms of weather. Now, there is talks about a potential, there's a lot of tropical activity going on, and the European and GFS are mentioning that. I will be ignoring that in this video. I'll make a separate video probably later today about the tropical activity and what we could expect with a potential a definitely increasing activity. That's about the best way to say it at this point. So that's gonna be a separate video, but for today we're just focusing on the pattern across the lower 48, not on the oceans, and let's get into the video. If you guys would like to subscribe to this channel, that would be awesome. I'm a hobbyist, not a meteorologist. I would never call myself a meteorologist unless qualified to. And for official forecasts, National Hurricane Center, National Weather Service, and NOAA are your best and most trustworthy sources. Let's get into this. So let's start off by looking at the GFS model. The GFS is a relatively good model. And by the way, many people ask the way I use this website, Tropical Tidbits. It's a very good website. Just type that in, and it takes you to just for hurricanes, storms, just anything you want. And you can see that they put updates. Levy, great guy, it's for free, and it's super high quality. So I would almost 100% recommend this website. Let's get into this. So notice we have a storm pulling away from the northeast coast. We have a bit of shower activity across the southeast, though generally we are in a dry period right now. Now, just because we're in a dry period doesn't mean you can't get a shower or you can't get a storm, but generally speaking, across the lower 48, there's not going to be a lot of coverage of storms. And if there are going to be storms, it seems like in the evening to afternoon hours, they will be at their highest. That's usually to do with the daytime heating, convective building, and that's associated often with summer. During the summer months, during the afternoon, storms just really get fired up, and they don't even have to have a large system with it. Now, we go forward into the week. We see the high pressure brings a lot of cooler air into the Midwest. Very pleasant. We start seeing some moisture across the southeast. Now, there's many locations across the south that are a bit dry. They're going to start seeing some rain, which is definitely good news. You could see by around Thursday, Friday, we see very expansive pop-up showers, to the point where they were last week. So possibly some more flooding, more rain on the way. Notice we have a strong tropical storm hurricane off the Baja Peninsula. This does not look to make any impact to the United States at all. You can see it's basically not even a storm by the time it reaches the level of southern United States. But notice what we see across the northern United States. We start seeing showers, storms, and we start seeing a low pressure system coming through around Saturday into Sunday. This drags a cold front through a lot of the major cities: Chicago, Des Moines, Milwaukee, Minneapolis, definitely getting in on this, Detroit, Cleveland, and then across the northeast, you can see definitely we see some activity. Now, speaking of the south, there's going to be a lot of showers, and there's going to be a lot of moisture, and that's to do with a potential tropical system making its way onto shore. It doesn't look to be strong, and it's very far out there. There's almost no one knows what it's going to do. But just keep your eyes peeled to the forecast, as this definitely could be something a bit more severe. But generally, at this point, it's safe to say just more increased precipitation, lots of showers for the southeast, and some flooding threat is possible. Notice, we get this first storm passing through around Saturday, Sunday. Then maybe 24, 36 hours later, not even, we see another storm a bit further to the north. It has a lot of cooler air to the north with it. It drags another cool front. Really, though, it kind of just skims the area, really just drops across Minnesota, arrowhead of Minnesota, Wisconsin, and UP of Michigan, and into portions of the northeast. But what it allows is another storm to take shape. Now, this one could be a pretty large one. You can see that it starts taking up moisture from the Gulf of Mexico. It starts streaming in moisture. We start seeing some bands of pretty heavy showers to the north across Wisconsin, Minnesota. These could be pretty expansive. Southern Canada, this is Saskatchewan, we could start seeing some decent rain and moving into Manitoba. And this storm really just is in many pieces. It's not well organized, but it's across the United States, and it's not far to the north where only some impacts occur. It's basically whatever it does, it's going to impact us. And you can see a lot of rain across the East Coast into Ohio, Pennsylvania. Yes, this is very far out, but the overall theme of this video is just to demonstrate to you a very active pattern is going to be occurring. Notice that we start seeing lots of rain across the northeast, the up coastal northeast, Ohio, Pennsylvania, West Virginia, Kentucky, and as soon as you may think that's over, you see just a behemoth of a storm erupting in the west. Now, usually the GFS tends to over-exaggerate these storms, especially the longer you you go into the long range. But it's definitely an indicator of a increased pattern. You can see lots of moisture across the south. Again, continued shower activity across the southern United States. These showers will not be even associated with any large system. They'll just be on flow from the tropical moisture off the ocean, which is at its peak. Early September, it's just ripening, and it's basically just erupting with moisture. It's hard not to get a lot of moisture across these areas. But you can see this storm also, big threat. I mean, you can see cold fronts, rain, precip. So definitely overall an active pattern. If we were to look at the total accumulated precipitation, we would notice some pretty significant amounts. And it's finally across the northern United States. We see some 1 to 3 inch amounts, the east, the south, even into portions of the northwest, which they have been very dry. Southwest, again, not much precipitation for you guys. It's very unfortunate. You guys definitely need the most out of any location in the United States. But it looks to be fairly dry. Any rain you do get will stay light, and hopefully the models start trending towards, that was a chair, by the way, nothing else. Hopefully the models start trending towards a bit of a wetter pattern across the southwest, as, it's been dry, it is dry, and hopefully it just doesn't stay dry. It's tough to call at this point. Let's quickly take a look at the temperatures according to the GFS model. The GFS is kind of all over the place. It shows a brief heat waves and also brings in brief Arctic attacks, which could lower temperatures into the mid-40s across the nights and upper 30s across the upper Midwest, which isn't really completely unusual for this time of the year. Late August into early September, at this time, the pattern change would be occurring that I want to show you. It's not uncalled for, definitely though a little bit earlier, and it's just one model. GFS is kind of a crazy model. It's kind of like the crazy friend of the group, the GFS. But notice, we see a lot of cooler air for now, really across the eastern United States. The heat kind of takes hold of that. The GFS likes to emphasize the blue colors more than the red. It's going to be more of a warmer pattern up until really, this week. Cool, and then after that, warm. And you can see the GFS tries bringing in quite a bit of cool air across the northern United States, but it doesn't quite bring it down because of the constant storms that are going to be coming across and just bringing up warmer air. So it's going to be a constant battle. But at times, the GFS does bring in a few chilly air masses. You can see there's one across the northeast, one across the northwest, a pretty large one across the northwest. That would definitely be very pleasant for the people across the northwest. They are in absolute heat waves right now. So you can see that the European GFS definitely is a flip-flop pattern. And while your GFS is a crazy model, it's completely not unsupported by the other models. You can see European, we have cool right now. Warmth takes hold of that. The cool air moves to the southern United States. Then we see another cool outbreak really by Monday, Tuesday. Really, this one's insignificant. Warm air replaces that, and then we see another larger cool down, which could be more significant. So really, all the models are kind of jumping back and forth. And what I was talking about at the beginning of the video about the tropics getting activated to high gear, the European model shows some pretty concerning signs. You can see it shows a rather strong system off the coast of the northeast coast. Yes, this is very far out. This will change 100%, but it's just kind of scary to still see that the sign is there. The European is highly regarded as a good model, but look, this was the first model run it did that. You go back to just 12 hours ago, not a single sign of the storm, and now you go to the 12Z Monday, and you just see a pretty large storm. Again, no need to panic. Just be safe than sorry. Maybe make a plan, and you should be already making a plan each year, regardless of what the season is like shaping up to be. Because sometimes the season can be coined less active, but could be still destructive. This season is coined to be extremely active, and unfortunately that's the case. Will that come true? Hopefully not. It's not an end-all be-all, but definitely stay prepared for a possibility of that. So let's go back to the European model, but on a different website, so I could actually show you the precipitation rate and what it's showing, not just the 500 millibar height anomalies, which really aren't the best to look at. So let's take a look at this. Again, we have a storm pulling away to the northeast. We see a lot of dry weather across the eastern United States, which we haven't had, especially across the southeast. But many places across the Midwest have been dry, so a little bit of rain would be pleasant. Here in Chicago, we've had actually, I think, the driest August in almost 40 years. So that's definitely a bit of an issue, but I know that there's places in Ohio and western Pennsylvania which are literally in a drought. So definitely a unique year. I mean, we were just absolutely inundated by water early spring, and now one of the hottest summers came, and it's dry. For the garden, it has just been a pretty tough year. We as I was saying, May was cold, wet. We had frost and froze a lot of buds, flowers, early seedlings. And then the rains came, flooded out a lot of the seeds that were planted. Drowned, root rot happened. And then the summer came. We just had absolute insane heat, comparable to 2012. Really just a hot summer, and still continuing to shape up like that. And we're also seeing dry weather. And honestly, I don't know what's next. This year has just been everything. This year's just not been a good year overall. 2020 was a year of I guess just a year of a realization that how good we've been having it, and kind of putting us back on putting us back sitting down, because some of us may have started to get a bit spoiled, if you will. Notice we see dry weather, right? European supports that. We start seeing some showers across the southern United States at around the late week. Then a little bit further, a couple days out, we start seeing some storm activity to the north. You could see some few of showers and storms. The European isn't as aggressive with these storms as the GFS, though it definitely has a mention of rain, and it continues it across the east coast. You could see we have a pretty large storm system right here, which it could move down further to the south in the next model runs, which definitely is a possibility. And you can see that it definitely drags a cold front, and it's another storm. We just see a lot of activity. You can see a 999 millibar. This would be active, nice storms. And I know I really just don't want to talk about this, but this thing just pops right into your eye as you watch this. You can see it doesn't make direct landfall. This storm, I don't want to use the H word at this point, but you could see it is pretty darn powerful. 944. That'd be very, very strong. Hopefully that does change with the upcoming model runs, though there's no guarantee. Just be safe. This could be a concern later on, but as of now, just go to the National Hurricane Center. They are your official weather info, and do as advised. So yeah, I'll show you the total accumulated precipitation amounts. The southern U.S. will be getting an increase, so will the northern U.S. with the increase of the large storms. Southern U.S. will really just be wet because of the tropical moisture activity, not even with the big storm that you saw at the end of the European model run. It's just in general, tropical activity will be flowing up into the United States, Texas, Louisiana. You can see the European keeps it a bit drier than the GFS. But it only goes out to 240 versus the GFS, which goes out to 384. And you can see there's some impressive rains with this storm, but also to the north we see some impressive rains with the large storms. So definitely I guess a concern, if you will. I kind of want to go to total snowfall because I think I saw a bit of snow across the mountains yesterday in the range. In the longer range, and it was interesting. I actually, well, the European shows a bit over there, but I was looking at the midnight model run of the GFS yesterday in the evening, and that model run actually showed actually quite a decent amount of snow across the British Columbia mountains, kind of like the eastern mountains. So that was pretty interesting, and we're hoping this will load a bit quicker. It's taking its sweet old time. It is absolutely disregarding the fact that I want it to load. I'll come back once it loads. Yeah, so I got it finally to load, and let's take a glance at this. We see the storms, which again has been consistent with the GFS and with its model runs. But look at that, quite a bit of snow, expansive snow across the Rockies right there. So definitely, I guess a sign that things are cooling off. I mean, earlier, it would look like this, just maybe a bit of blue, but mainly green, too warm. But you could see with the cool weather air mass, we could start seeing some snow across the mountains, definitely. And at this time, it would be early September at this forecast point, so not uncalled for, to be honest, not at all. And you can see quite a nice snowpack right there. So thank you guys so much for watching. Consider liking the video, consider subscribing to this channel, and I'll catch you all guys in the next episode. See ya. Bye.